Allotransplantation. Can you spell Bogolonfini? All right, spell subpoena. All right, spell acromatophil. All right, spell acromatophil. Can you spell
All right, spell
quixotry? Acromatophil. Can you spell
All right, spell
quixotry? Next up, paroxysm. Your word is gubernatorial. All right, spell paraphernalia. All right, spell paradigm. All right, spell entrepreneur. The next word is pulchritudinous. Next up, lepidopterology. Spell soliloquy. Spell iconoclast. All right, spell utilitarianism. Next up, acquiesce. Next up, fossiliferous. The next word is anachronistic. Can you spell verisimilitude? Spell infinitesimal. Your word is languid. Can you spell aegis? All right, spell quasquicentennial. Your word is Worcestershire. Spell perspicacious. The next word is serendipity. Can you spell hieroglyphics? Next up, fuchsia. All right, spell capricious. Your word is rhinorrhea. Next up, gastroenterologist. Can you spell ethnomethodology? Next up, anti-disestablishmentarianism. The next word is quadammodative. The next word is anthropomorphization. Spell pseudo-hypoparathyroidism. Next up, bourgeoisification. Spell pneumoencephalography. Can you spell radiometeorograph? Spell psychoneuroendocrinological. Your word is floxinaucinihilipilification. Spell bourgeoisie. Next up, parallelogrammatic. The next word is anti-disestablishmentarianism. Your word is anthropomorphization. Next up, otorhinolaryngological. The next word is ethnomethodology. Next up, psychophysicotherapeutics. Spell aegis. Can you spell acromatophilia? Acromatophilia. All right, spell perspicacious. Can you spell iconoclast? Your word is prognostication. Next up, allotransplantation. All right, spell capoeira. All right, spell rhinorrhgia. Next up, dichotomization. The next word is Buckminster-Fullerene. Next up, entrepreneur. The next word is serendipity. The next word is soliloquy. All right, spell Bogolanfini. Your word is subpoena. Can you spell superferromagnetism? The next word is labyrinthine. Spell portmanteau. Spell borborygmus. The next word is antediluvian. Spell sequoia. Your word is paroxysm. All right, spell jurisprudence. Next up, apocryphal. Can you spell hieroglyphics? Your word is fuchsia. All right, spell batrachophobia. All right, spell Cyrillic. The next word is isthmus. Spell abakashi. Spell supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. The next word is pneumoencephalography. The next word is autothaumaturgist. Spell quindecasyllabic. The next word is quadrimodative. Your word is psychoneuroimmunology. All right, spell bourgeoisie. The next word is gastroenterologist. Spell floxinaucinihilipilification. Spell parallelogrammatic. The next word is adrenocorticotrophin. Next up, convolvulaceous. Next up, hypoparathyroidism. The next word is psychoneuroendocrinological. Can you spell radiometeorograph? Your word is hippopotamonstrosusquipedaliophobia. The next word is honorific abilitudinity. All right, spell arthroeresis. The next word is pusillanimous. Next up, deoxyribonucleic. Spell subcompartmentalization. All right, spell absquatulate. Next up, baccalaureate. Can you spell neuropsychological? Your word is infundibulum. Can you spell acquiesce? Spell milieu. Next up, sesquipedalian. Spell infinitesimal. Your word is pulchritudinous. Next up, anachronistic. The next word is inchoate. All right, spell gubernatorial. Next up, paradigm. Can you spell contradistinguish? Spell incomprehensibility. All right, spell utilitarianism. Spell onomatopoeia. Can you spell acetaminophen? Your word is paraphernalia. Your word is lepidopterology. Spell prestidigitation. Spell syzygy. Next up, Worcestershire. Next up, verisimilitude. Your word is languid. Your word is dendrochronology. Can you spell quasquicentennial? Next up, oligonucleotide. Can you spell polyphyloprogenitive? All right, spell pseudo-hypoparathyroidism. Your word is glyceraldehyde. Next up, bourgeoisification. Your word is xylotypographic. The next word is institutionalization. Spell anthropomorphization. All right, spell hippopotamonstrosusquipedaliophobia. Can you spell institutionalization? Your word is psychophysicotherapeutics. Your word is acquiesce. Next up, rhinorrhgia. All right, spell abakashi. Spell aegis. Next up, paroxysm. All right, spell allotransplantation. Your word is iconoclast. Spell bureaucracy. Next up, thalassophobia. Next up, quasquicentennial. All right, spell susurration. Spell batrachophobia. The next word is deoxyribonucleic. Spell paraphernalia. Can you spell dichotomization? The next word is prognostication. Spell verisimilitude. The next word is milieu. The next word is jurisprudence. The next word is compartmentalization. Next up, fossiliferous. All right, spell labyrinthine. Can you spell absquatulate? Spell subcompartmentalization. Your word is infundibulum. All right, spell incomprehensibility. Can you spell contradistinguish? The next word is hieroglyphics. All right, spell baccalaureate. Your word is isthmus. Spell bourgeoisie. Can you spell psychoneuroimmunology? The next word is bourgeoisification. Can you spell supercalifragilisticexpialidocious? Your word is radiometeorograph. Next up, convolvulaceous. Next up, onomatopoeia. Can you spell fuchsia? The next word is anachronistic. Spell Spell infinitesimal. Spell inchoate. All right, spell syzygy. Next up, entrepreneur. The next word is dendrochronology. Can you spell sesquipedalian? Your word is Cyrillic. Can you spell prestidigitation? Spell supererogatory. The next word is soliloquy. Spell acromatophilia. Can you spell superferromagnetism? All right, spell Bogolanfini. Your word is acetaminophen. Can you spell neuropsychological? Spell utilitarianism. Your word is paradigm. All right, spell pusillanimous. Your word is pulchritudinous. All right, spell Buckminster fullerene. Your word is sequoia. The next word is languid. Next up, subpoena. Your word is perspicacious. Your word is Worcestershire. Can you spell lepidopterology? The next word is acromatophil. Next up, anti-disestablishmentarianism. Your word is pseudo-hypoparathyroidism. Spell xylotypographic. Your word is gastroenterologist. All right, spell oligonucleotide. The next word is floxinosinyhilipilification. Next up, quindicasyllabic. The next word is adrenocorticotrophin. All right, spell polyphyloprogenitive. Spell glyceraldehyde. Spell arthroeresis. Can you spell honorific abilitudinity? All right, spell ethnomethodology. Can you spell parallelogrammatic? Your word is psychoneuroendocrinological. All right, spell quadrimodative. The next word is hypoparathyroidism. Your word is pneumoencephalography. Can you spell autothaumaturgist? All right, spell otorhinolaryngological. Spell quindicasyllabic. The next word is polyphyloprogenitive. Can you spell otorhinolaryngological? All right, spell honorific abilitudinity. Spell xylotypographic. The next word is adrenocorticotrophin. The next word is hippopotamonstrosusquipedaliophobia. Can you spell acetaminophen? Next up, aegis. Spell supererogatory. Your word is abakashi. The next word is Worcestershire. Your word is sequoia. The next word is inchoate. All right, spell infinitesimal. The next word is baccalaureate. Can you spell Cyrillic? Spell fossiliferous. Next up, subcompartmentalization. The next word is bureaucracy. The next word is Buckminster-Fullerene. Next up, iconoclast. The next word is isthmus. All right, spell allotransplantation. All right, spell acromatophil. Next up, paroxysm. Can you spell syzygy? Your word is rhinorrhea. Your word is deoxyribonucleic. The next word is languid. The next word is antediluvian. The next word is paradigm. All right, spell pulchritudinous. Spell capoeira. Your word is paraphernalia. All right, spell acromatophilia. Can you spell sesquipedalian? Your word is ethnomethodology. Ethnomethodology. Can you spell autothaumaturgist? Can you spell psychoneuroimmunology? Can you spell convolvulaceous? Can you spell supercalifragilisticexpialidocious? Next up, glyceraldehyde. All right, spell arthroeresis. Spell radiometeorograph. All right, spell quadammodative. Next up, anti-disestablishmentarianism. Can you spell hypoparathyroidism? Your word is floxinosinyhilipilification. Your word is oligonucleotide. All right, spell institutionalization. Can you spell anthropomorphization? Next up, pseudo-hypoparathyroidism. Your word is pneumoencephalography. The next word is bourgeoisie. Can you spell gastroenterologist? The next word is parallelogrammatic. All right, spell bourgeoisification. Your word is psychoneuroendocrinological. Next up, psychophysicotheraputics. Your word is radiometeorograph. All right, spell xylotypographic. All right, spell honorific abilitudinity.